Ooh, we are nearing the hiatus. It is September 15th, 2000. Randy, thank you for joining. Randy taking us back here to September of 2000. Hershey Park, back to Hershey as well. And look, there's not going to be many times where they have an extended long piper to start the second set, and it is not my favorite part of the show. Overall, the first set, like many times here recently with these shows I've been doing, while they've all been very good shows, they have been very just good to, above average to good first sets. Look, the first tube was a nice way to start things. A tad sloppy there at the beginning. And now I do remember reading something recently. I did another one of these either late September, early October shows of 2000 and read where the band was just pretty much running on fumes at this point, sometimes going from one show to the next city on zero sleep. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case here in Hershey, Pennsylvania, because a little bit of slop in first two, but then it gets going strong. Same thing with Gotta Jaboo. Takes a minute to really find that groove in Gotta Jaboo, but once they do, we float along nicely for a few minutes. And then Corina and Windora Bug, not songs I'm going to put high on my list of favorite songs, but the fact that I never really hear those a whole lot anymore, they're not in the rotation at this point, and never really was, I guess. Kind of, was it? I don't know. I have to check out the stats. So that was cool. That was all right, And then Birds of a Feather, kind of like another one I heard recently. Like, it had a little bit of an effort, but mainly it was just Birds of a Feather. Tom Marshall joins us here for Antelope. Comes out, did a nice job nailing the vocal strongly. Tom always loves it when he finds his way on stage. Always does a great job. Golgi coming in, really just rushed through Golgi. Felt like maybe, I don't know what was going on. There was almost something missing in the Golgi. And then a Bittersweet Motel. Not a great way to end the first set, if you ask this guy, but who's asking really? Did anybody say, hey man, what'd you think about that first set ender? Not a person. Not a single one of you. Even the people that are interested didn't care what I think of that. All right, so now this is what somebody might possibly care. Well, you know what I thought of a 20-minute piper. As it took off, it quickly takes off, but then Mike and Paige kind of brought it back down to earth. And they stayed there a little bit. It got a little bit spaced out, maybe a little too spaced out before Trey tries to ramp it back up. And then only to end with a little bit of a foggy space. So a lot of space rock in this piper. It started out rocking, so that was nice. But then, and I even liked the part there where Mike and Paige kind of brought it down a little. Lizard's kind of like the first tube, a bit sloppy in parts of the Lizard, especially, the really, really good part. So that was a little bit of a bummer. This had a chance to be less like a 1, 2, 3, maybe bronze, silver, gold. Boom. And then this tube, as we get a normal tube, and even the jam within the early part of the tube felt like it was going a minute or two longer. It felt like, okay, they're teasing us here a little bit, only to go back to the vocals and give us what felt like a proper ending to tube. Little bit of like, where are we headed here next after that musically, only to just drop into what felt like, a fall of 97 funk jam. And then that just ramped up, kind of went in every direction, really. At one point, it was super funky. Then it was just rocking out, almost had like a piper tempo. Then it got, kind of even a heavy moment there. So they were just running through it all here in this tube. And like I said, it's not often. This is a 20-minute piper. It's not going to steal the show, but this tube certainly did. And the moment that took it from a good, just okay, and a lot of good shows, like kind of a sneaky part of their career here running up to the hiatus, and the crowd absolutely loved it. The crowd just went bonkers when they decided that, all right, we're going back into another jam. So that was good to hear on the audience recording. When the circus comes to town, calming things down, Character Zero. Trey loves playing Rockstar, doesn't he? And then Possum, Trey's not done playing Rockstar, but then everybody, of course. Paige McConnell, Fishman, everybody enjoying the end there, but they were a little bit jammed out. Probably this sort of felt like a running on fumes, They could roll out of bed and play those, or they could stay up for 50 hours straight and play those. All right, so, boom, thank you for the request, taking us back to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hershey, one of them cities, a lot of good shows over the years, huh? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And, September of 2000, one that doesn't get talked about a lot, but a pretty sneaky, decent tour, really. All right, guys. Not the Riverbend, though. I was one show. I went to the Riverbend show in 2000. Still was not fully on board. During the hiatus is when I got on board. All right, nobody cares. Boom. spent a lot of this video talking about things nobody cares about. Oh, come on. Somebody cares. You care. All right, guys. Boom. Oh, yeah. You're like, what's up with the hat, dude? You a big Rangers fan? It's my tube hat. Come on. What'd you think? See? Get it? Tube. All right, guys. Boom. And we can get the tube hat in the thumbnail. That's not creepy. All right, guys. Boom. We're out of here.